Hello, and welcome to A Very Yevgeny Christmas deleted scenes. This film had a total of 2 deleted scenes. One of them did get filmed and was cut during editing, and one didn't make it into filming. And so I'd like to talk about said scenes and sort of describe why they never happened. This first scene was a scene which would have had cameos from Mission Impossible in it. And there were a lot of cut cameos that never made it into the screenplay, but this one did make it into filming, but it never made it into the final movie. This scene shows Agent Josh and what would have been Agent Kevin if he could have made it to filming, sort of meeting Bowler Hat Guy after he's been defeated by Yevgeny. Take a look.
My friends at the CIA told me to come pick this up. I don't know what it's about. Hello, you. Huh. Let's see what man told me to come get. Hi.
Hi.
So ultimately, the big problem with the scene for me personally was that it didn't live up to that idea which I had for it. It didn't feel right because it felt like a really bad cameo. Agent Josh and Agent Kevin there to sort of pick them up because, like, oh, well, the FBI doesn't take the CIA seriously. It would have been a sort of playful dynamic where they're not exactly buddies. So it's sort of that, and it's kind of showing where those two characters are at this point in the timeline. But the scene ended up just, like, kind of not being good. It didn't feel right to me in terms of the continuity of the movie, considering how there's no other cameos from Mission Impossible. You can see how it's laid in that, like, this does fit in, but it's in no need. And frankly, it's, in my opinion, a really lazy way to bring these characters in and tie the universe together, when I feel Yevgeny is so much stronger when it's his own thing. There were some other cameos which could have made it in that never happened, and these what I'm about to describe aren't necessarily deleted scenes, they just never made it into the screenplay. I had ideas for how Richard Bad Guy and Big Papa could have shown up, considering how this is at this point. They would have not been crime lords. They wouldn't have probably even met yet. Bowler Hat Guy is the crime lord right now. Bowler Hat Guy is replaced. Big Papa replaces him. That was my idea with this timeline. And maybe would have shown after Bowler Hat Guy's captured, there would have been a news broadcast describing it, and it would have had Big Papa sort of watching that. Maybe a reference to Richard Bad Guy, a new young entrepreneur. But none of these ideas I felt fit because it's that whole Yevgeny Christmas felt better to be its own thing. The second deleted scene was something we didn't get to film because of timing restraints on our last day of filming. We had 30 minutes to finish filming the movie. And we could have filmed the scene. It would have been 5 or 6 shots. But then the rest of the scenes, which would have been the sleigh scenes, wouldn't have had the time to film them. So I had to pick my poison and say, this one's more important. The second scene is after Yevgeny gets up in his Christmas wartime suit with a wee ball line. Instead of cutting to black and going straight to the bowler hat guy in the house, it would have been a Home Alone-esque sequence where it is Yevgeny setting traps up for Bowler Hat Guy. And it's kind of referenced there in that scene where Bowler Hat Guy places his hand on the stocking and he gets stuck to it. And that just kind of like, that comes off as a goofy joke, but that was actually something serious when it comes to the movie, where it's all these traps which he set up. There would have been like bath bomb bombs, and there would have been like little toys scattered on the floor. And a lot of this had to be cut because like we didn't have the time to film it. I would have loved to feature that scene because, oh my gosh, Home Alone is probably one of my favorite Christmas movies. I love a lot of Christmas movies, and a lot of them gave me a lot of influence for this film. Out of everything to cut, there could have been a lot of worse things to cut, in my opinion. It was a scene that was very fun because it also sort of demonstrated Yevgeny's sudden change in character, where it would have had him talking to C and A, who are all like, oh, I can't believe you changed. Like, I'm fueled by the rage of holiday season. But you probably see why I had to cut it, because of just poor timing. It sucks, but hey, the final movie still works, and it's really great. That is all the deleted scenes which I can share about Yevgeny, because there are none others.